Hi, I'm Drew. I'm a member of Andover Baptist Church, and this is day 2 in this week's 5-day devotional series looking at who Jesus was. Today we look at Jesus was a Nazarene, meaning Jesus came from the town of Nazareth. We learned yesterday that although Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the family had to take refuge in Egypt to avoid persecution. But if we read in the book of Matthew, in the New Testament, in Matthew chapter 2, verse 23, that the family, when they returned to Israel, resided in the region of Galilee in northern Israel, in the town of Nazareth. Nazareth, we can learn from the Bible, but also from historical evidence from outside the Bible, that Nazareth was a tradesman's town, a hard-working town where carpenters and builders and labourers could be found. Now nearby to Nazareth was a town called Sepphoris. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that properly. It's spelled Sepphoris if you want to look it up. But we do know that Sepphoris in antiquity was considered the jewel of Galilee, where it was a very affluent town of over 30,000 people, a lot for that time. But Jesus wasn't from there. He was from a lowly town along the road from this more affluent place. He was from Nazareth. Now, when Jesus started his ministry, he picked up disciples along the way. And one of them was Philip. And we learn in the book of John, the Gospel according to John, in chapter 1, verses 45 to 46, some insight around how people viewed the town of Nazareth. And it goes like this. Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." "Nazareth? Can anything good come from there?" Nathanael asked. "Come and see," said Philip. That was really demeaning by Nathanael, writing off what on earth could come from Nazareth. Wasn't very highly considered. Perhaps you've experienced that. Well, they come from that town. It's not a great town. Or they come from that city or that country. What good can come from there? Well, there's a couple of things around Jesus coming from Nazareth that encourages me. One is, regardless of where you come from, something good can come from it. And the fact that Jesus came from an ordinary and hard-working lowly town, I think, means it can relate to the masses today, the human beings who, not all of us come from affluent towns and cities or countries. Regardless, Jesus came from humble beginnings, humble origin, a humble and ordinary town. And I find that makes him more relatable to us today. You know, when ISIS were trying to set up their caliphate in the Middle East across Syria and Iraq, this jihadist group, when they entered a town, when they found out where Christians lived, they would paint on the doors a Num. A Num is simply the letter N in Arabic, and it's kind of like a horseshoe with a line in the middle slightly above it. And that defined to the ISIS fighters and their colleagues in group that here lived a follower of the Nazarene, N for Nazarene. And this singled these families out as Christians and therefore potentially really harsh persecution. And if you want to learn more about that, I could encourage you to look up Open Doors UK, a Christian organisation that highlights Christian persecution across the globe and how you can pray and help those in that situation. I wonder how those people felt when they saw the letter Num, a follower of a Nazarene, daubed on their doors. They would have probably been terrified. But I'd like to think that as we take hope in Jesus of Nazareth, that those people also retain their hope in Jesus of Nazareth also. Thank you for listening today. The song I'd like to put in the link below is Who Am I by Casting Crowns. Thank you.